In the headlines, Independent National Electoral Commission reschedules 2023 elections, governorship election now in March. Relief for internally displaced persons in southern Kaduna as National Emergency Management Agency distributes food items. 21 arrested in Nasarawa for violation of monthly environmental order. And on the foreign scene, Russia banned flights from Bulgaria, Poland, and Czech Republic. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayubelia. Thank you for joining. The details now. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released a schedule of activities for the 2023 general elections following the signing into law of the Electoral Acts Amendment Bill into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, during his address explained that based on the requirements of the new act, which stipulates that notice of elections be announced at least 360 days before stipulated date, the Commission has moved the date of the 2024 presidential election and the National Assembly election to be 25th of February 2023, as well as governorship and House of Assembly elections moved to the 11th of March 2023.
The Commission has decided to adjust the dates for the 2023 general election to ensure compliance with the provisions of the new law. Accordingly, the Presidential and National Assembly elections will now hold on Saturday, 25th February 2023. While the governorship and state houses of assembly elections will hold 2 weeks later on Saturday, 11th March 2023. With this adjustment, the 2023 general election is now 363 days away.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has said President Muhammadu Buhari's complaint that Section 84, Subsection 12 of the Electoral Act 2022 will be disenfranchised serving political office holders is selfish and not altruistic. The governor said if President Buhari truly believes in transparent election and that everybody should have a level playing ground, he will not be suggesting the amendment of the section which he claims will disenfranchise serving political office holders from voting or being voted for at convention or congresses of any political party.
Governor Wike stated this in Port Harcourt while reacting to President Muhammadu Buhari's assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill.
The amendment sought for of what is the purpose? Who is complaining? Is the public complaining about this clause that if you want to contest the primaries, that you should resign so time before you come as a political appointee? Mr. President has told the world he's trying to protect some of his appointees who want to run an election and who is afraid of leaving the office, knowing fully well, having left the office, it will be difficult for them, to assert or to influence the outcome of party primaries. And if Mr. President really indeed believes in free and fair and transparent election, that everybody to have a level playing ground, Mr. President will not call for such an amendment. So Mr. President saying it conflicts with the provisions of the Constitution, as far as I'm concerned, is neither here nor there.
Governor Wike said one remarkable feature of the Electoral Act is that it will reduce the involvement of security agencies in the hijacking of ballot boxes and results. He said the new law will also make public officers seeking re-election to be on their toes because their political fate will be solely determined by the electorate based on their performances.
The only good thing in that Electoral Act that most Nigerians are crying for is the electronic transmitted results. That is all. It will reduce the involvement of security agencies of hijacking materials, ballot boxes, and results. And it has also provided, from what I have read, under that law, that INEC has the right to reject results that are made under duress. These are the two things that the electronic transmitted results will give confidence to the people, to the electorate, and everybody who's elected and who want to recontest will not sit up. I also hope INEC will use this opportunity and write their names in the history book on the electoral history of this country.
Governor Wike said President Muhammadu Buhari would allow ministers, commissioners, special advisors who feel the provision of the Electoral Act will adversely affect them to proceed to court and challenge it.
A midnight fire on Saturday gutted a shopping plaza in the popular spare parts market in Ladipo area of Lagos State. According to the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, who confirmed the incident, it said that no casualty recorded. Reports say that the fire incident occurred early Saturday morning and affected one-story building, the Agoin Iransi Plaza, in the market before dawn. The agency, however, said scores of shops and goods worth millions of naira were burnt in the inferno. Police in Edo State on Friday confirmed that some cash suspected to have been carted away by robbers during Thursday's robbery attacks on some banks in Uromi has been recovered. The Edo Commissioner of Police, Philip Ogbadu, confirmed this in an interview with News Agency of Nigeria. Ogbadu said about 37 million naira and 5 cars suspected to have been stolen by the robbers were recovered at a bush where they were abandoned. The robbers had late Thursday evening carried out what looked like coordinated robbery attacks on some commercial banks in Uromi as a northeast local government area of Edo State. Now, nearly 4 years after a bank robbery incident, residents of the local government area of Kwara State stormed Government House, Ilorin, to protest perceived delay in the trial of suspects in the April 5, 2018 armed robbery incident in the town. The state government, however, assured the protesters that no stone will be left unturned in ensuring justice for the dead and living. The report.
It is recalled that 33 persons, including policemen, were killed by daredevil armed robbers who invaded some commercial banks in Offa 4 years ago. The suspected armed robbers also reportedly carted away about 10 million naira during the attack. The aggrieved people of Offa who were at the Government House Ilorin to urge the Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak to expedite action on the trial of the suspects with a view to serve the victims and their relations with justice, carried placards with various inscriptions. Some of the messages on the placards include Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, don't fold your hands, expedite action on the trial of Offa robbery suspects. We need justice on Offa robbery incident. The blood of Offa 33 victims is crying, among others.
We want immediate justice. This case, I don't think it can even reach today before it will do before everything will end like this. We want the justice to be done immediately because we are our people. We are not happy. We are not happy at all. Enough is enough. Let justice be done.
Addressing the protesters on behalf of the Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Barrister Salman Jawondo San said that the case is still pending before a court of competent jurisdiction. Jawondo, who identified with the pains of the Offa people and especially with the relations of the victims, said that no stone will be left unturned until justice is served on the matter.
Now you have come in respect of a robbery of April 2018, where at least 33 persons were killed by the armed robbers. Since April 2018 up to today, the government has not forgotten about the case. We are doing everything that is allowed within the law to make sure that we put our case across to the court and justice is done. Now, the government has called 11 witnesses in proof of the case. And some of these witnesses include bankers who were at the scene of the crime, who witnessed and experienced the robbery, including the CCTV footage. That's the recorded footage of the robbery. So you will know that from that the CCTV footage must have shown not only the armed robbers, the way the operation was carried out. They have given facts and figures relating to the money stolen from the bank. We have even tendered certificates of death of those who were killed, including the policemen. So it's not that as if the government is not doing anything, but the wheel of justice grinds slowly, but can be very, very devastating when it is not comes out. So I want to assure you that the government will not allow this case to go under.
All the 5 suspects in the 2018 of a bank robbery, Ayoade Akimbosun, Ibikunle Ogunleye, Adeola Abraham, Aziz Salawu, and Ni Ogundiran, are all standing trial before Justice Halima Salman of the Kwara State High Court, Ilorin.
A major drug kingpin operating the notorious party Lagos Island Drug Haven in Lagos State, Shirafat Lawal, has been arrested along with 6 other suspects by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, who also recovered 5,862 kilograms of assorted illicit drug, including loud and codeine in a raid on Saturday, 26 February. The Director, Media and Advocacy, NDLEA Headquarters, Abuja, Femi Babafemi, confirmed this in a statement. He said, following credible intelligence and follow-up surveillance on illicit drug dealing in Osho, Gambari and Bearcroft streets, party area of Lagos State Island, anti-narcotic officers stormed the Gambari Street base of the drug kingpin, where they arrested her and 6 of her accomplices. However, other members of the cartel operating in the axis mobilized hoodlums who attacked the operatives with stones, bottles and guns in a bid to prevent the officers from arresting other kingpins marked for arrest, as well as taking the suspects already nabbed and drug exhibits away. Reports say that 1 person is feared dead, while many injured in the clash between the NDLEA officers and the hoodlums. National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has distributed food items and building materials to 300 heads of households of the internally displaced persons camps, IDPs, in the various camps in the Zango Kataf local government area of Kaduna State. The report.
Northwest Zonal Coordinator of NEMA, Abani Gariki, says that the items brought cannot replace what the victim have lost, but rather it shows the concern of the federal government to reduce their sufferings.
Most of the developed countries, they are not into this crisis. So we have to understand and take pattern from those developed countries. Let us live as one. We have to love one another and live as one as Nigerians. So I want to appeal to everyone to embrace peace for sustainable development in the country.
Hannatu James is a widow. She lost 7 members of her family. She says that the night the terrorists attacked her community remains horrifying in her mind.
I was fortunate to be away, but my whole family, I lost 7 lives. 2 grandchildren, 2 children, 2 daughters-in-law, and a rival. And I got 2 casualties. Up till now, 1 is still at Kano.
Actually, we had challenges in the IDP camps. No enough places to sleep, not enough food to eat, nothing. People are sleeping on ground. Cool. People are disturbed with cool.
Members representing Zango Kataf and Jaba Federal Constituency, who facilitated the relief materials, want the government to take proactive measures to protect the lives and property of the people.
It's a deliberate call on government to ensure that the perpetrators of all this evil are fished out and then are punished. Once you don't punish perpetrators of evil, others see it as, okay, there's laxity. They should look for them, they should get them, and they should deal with them.
NEMA said 1,200 bags of rice, 1,200 bags of beans, 1,200 bags of maize, 600 mattresses, 400 bags of cement, 400 bundles of roofing sheet, 800 gallons of cooking oil, among other things, were distributed to the internally displaced persons.
ECOWAS Court says it has not received any matter before it relating to the trial of Yoruba secession agitator Sunday Igboho, who is currently being held in a Benin Republic detention facility as it concerns itself with only civil matters. The court equally says it has so far received 583 cases since its establishment, with rulings given on 131. The report.
The ECOWAS Court, located in Abuja, has jurisdiction to determine cases of violation of human rights that occur in the 15 member states of the Economic Community of West African States. The 5 judges of the court, led by the Vice President, Justice Beribe Otara, are in Kwara State to improve public awareness about the court. Justice Dupe Atoki, who addressed a press conference on behalf of the court, said that the court has no record of any case on Sunday Igboho.
Sunday Igboho, for us here, we don't know what is that. Those of us on this side of the divide, we have no clue about who or what is happening to Sunday Igboho. Majority of them are not Nigerians. Perchance I'm the only Nigerian, and I do not, for judicial purpose, I have absolutely no knowledge of who Sunday Igboho is or what is his challenge. The court will only be seized of matters that have been brought before it. And if matters have not been brought before it, we will just be a meddlesome interloper, trying to fish out issues that are in the public media. And we are not guided by media presentations. We do not read newspapers for purposes of determining whether we should intervene or not.
The ECOWAS Court, established in 1991, remained inactive until 2005. And now it has so far received 583 cases, 179 pending, gave rulings on 131, and delivered judgment on 303.
Since the inception of the court, a total of 583 cases have been lodged before the court. A total of 583 cases have been lodged before the ECOWAS Court of Justice. And out of this, the court has given 131 rulings, 303 judgments, 21 decisions on revision, 6 advisory opinions, and currently we have 179 pending cases before the court. And out of the 179 pending cases, 54 originate from Nigeria.
Earlier, the ECOWAS judges had paid visits and held meetings with critical stakeholders, including the Emir of Ilorin, Dr. Ibrahim Sulogambari, and government representatives.
It is therefore imperative that the ECOWAS Court of Justice continues to play a signal role in cementing the legal regime of development of the ECOWAS region through its adjudicatory and mandate in settlement of disputes. This is particularly important as the concept of one market and free trade continues to gain ground across not only the sub-region, but also across all of the African continent. There's no doubt that the justice system must be fully involved in this social political evolution. My lords may note that our state shares border with an ECOWAS member state, Benin Republic. To that extent, we are building infrastructure to support trade and strengthen the regional ties. An example is the international market we're building in Bubu, which will attract people from across Nigeria and West Africa sub-region. Distinguished guests, our administration upholds the rule of law and protection of the rights of citizens. This has enabled us to record tremendous achievements in the 2 years of this administration. It's noteworthy that the executive arms enjoys a robust relationship with the judiciary and the legislative arms of government. I assure you that we will sustain this harmonious relationship for the progress and development of our state.
The court has mandated a community court, public service court, human rights court as an arbitration tribunal.
You're watching Trust News Update, coming up after the break. How girlfriend sold her own child. Details and more shortly. Thanks for staying. You're watching Trust News Update. Now let's have another look at the top stories again. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released the schedule of activities for the 2023 general elections following the signing into law of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law by the President of Nigeria. Plus, National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has distributed food items and building materials to 300 heads of households of the internally displaced persons IDPs in the various camps in Zango Katav, local government area of Kaduna State. In other news, Nigeria has recorded 33 new infections across the country in 6 states and the Federal Capital Territory, according to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. In its update for Friday 25th, 13 people were discharged after they recovered from the infection, while no deaths were reported for the 7th day in a row, leaving the total number of fatalities at 3,142. So far, 254,461 cases have been confirmed. 254,461 cases, have been confirmed in the 36 states and the FCT, with 248,863 recoveries. Now, a Yola resident, Suleiman Ibrahim, is asking authorities to help him retake custody of his missing 3-month-old son, allegedly sold by his girlfriend for 20,000 naira to a woman engaged in human trafficking. Suleiman Ibrahim's ordeal first began after his love affair with girlfriend Justina Yakubu produced a child.
The court, they say, is the last hope of the common man. Here at this court premises, one man's journey to retake custody of his 3-month-old child has left him frustrated with the administration of justice. But his quest for justice has one silver lining. This 4-year-old boy, Vincent Obanus, here is finally reuniting with his father after 6 months of separation and disappearance. Surprisingly, Justina Yakubu, the mother of this 4-year-old, is also standing trial at this court premises for selling her 3-month-old son for 20,000 to one Esther Romanus, now a defendant in a case of trafficking in persons. Suleiman narrated to Trust TV how his estranged fiancé sold their 3-month-old son to Esther and how luck also ran out on them. She came and said she wants to have a talk with me. I said I won't speak with her alone. Since we are at the station, the police would hear what she has to say. She then said the child is still alive. She claimed to have told me the baby was dead just to torture me, and that the baby is with one Dr. Esther Romanus, an Igbo woman who gave her 20,000 in exchange for the child. It was out of that money she transported herself back home to Maraba. I then cried and lamented why I behaved this way, knowing my predicament. I said I would have loved to bore my son and care for him. After hearing her confession, I asked the divisional police officer to give me a policeman who would accompany me to Yola to retake my son. On the way, Esther and Justina kept in touch until we arrived at Esther's residence with the female policewoman. We waited for Esther to return from the market. Esther was arrested by the policeman who asked her about the missing baby and his whereabouts. Esther confessed to receiving a 2-month-old baby at the time from Justina, but said the baby has been taken to Taraba State. Suleiman, whose hopes of also uniting with his 3-month-old son was dashed by the court ruling, has called on authorities to intervene. The police also discovered a 4-year-old boy who Esther had allegedly trafficked. The boy I learned is Justina's son, who she bore for another man. It was during investigations that the disappearance of the 4-year-old also unraveled. During interrogations at the station, Esther asked to be given some minutes, that my child would soon be brought to the station. Shortly after, I saw an infant with a young lady. I recognized the baby as my missing 3-month-old son. I and my mother were overwhelmed with emotions. While my mother broke down in tears, I moved to beat the girl who brought the baby. I don't have anybody to help me on this case except God, because the defendant has hired 2 lawyers already for her defense.
Finally, on the foreign scene, Russia said it is closing its airspace to flights from Bulgaria, Poland and the Czech Republic in a tit-for-tat punitive measures following Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. The Federal Air Transport Agency stated this on Saturday. The measure is set to go into effect from 3 p.m. local time. Several countries, including Bulgaria, Poland and Czech Republic, have closed their airspace to Russian carriers. With that, we wrap up Trust News Update, but connect with us via our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch us live. I am Ayub Elia. Thank you for watching.